morning, everyone. Today we'll be enjoying a new chapter named Albert Einstein at School, written by Patrick Pringle through an animated video. So let's enjoy this video together. The story opens with Albert in a history class at his school. The teacher is astonished at Albert's failure to remember an important date in history. Albert honestly answers that he did not think it necessary to remember dates because he believes that education doesn't simply consist of learning facts. The teacher sarcastically asks Albert to explain his own theory of education. Albert, although embarrassed, explains that he would be more interested in knowing about the reasons for war rather than the dates or the numbers of soldiers killed. The teacher furiously declares that Albert is a disgrace to the school and its teachers and also calls him ungrateful. When he leaves school that day, Albert feels trapped and helpless not because of the teacher's word but because he knows that he would have to return to school the next day. He knows that he cannot leave school because his father would not let him leave until he takes his diploma. As a student, Albert lived alone in one of the poorest localities of Munich. However, it was not the shabbiness or the bad food which troubled Albert. What really disturbed him was the everyday violence that he saw around him, parents beating their children and husbands beating their wives. That evening, he shares his unhappiness with his friend Yuri. He remarks that it would be better to live with poor students as they would at least be more civilized. Yuri, however, disagrees and tells him about the duels that occurred among students. In these duels, if a student killed another student, the killer would only be banned from further duels, not punished. Albert is disgusted at the thought of such formalized violence. Albert is convinced that he would never get the school diploma and discusses his troubles with his cousin Elsa when she comes to Munich. Elsa, who shares Albert's opinion about the education system, asks him to try simply learn enough to pass the exams. But Albert remarks that he just could not learn things by heart. Elsa is surprised at this because Albert always seemed to be reading. Albert tells Elsa that he reads books on subjects like geology purely out of interest, even though science is not taught at his school. After 6 months, Albert decides that he must leave the school. He reveals his intention to Yuri and enlists Yuri's help to find a doctor who would certify that he is suffering from a nervous breakdown. This excuse would be perfect in helping him avoid attending school. In the next couple of days, Yuri finds Albert a doctor, Hans Wheel. Albert goes to meet the doctor. Dr. Wheel emphasizes with Albert and believes that Albert's problem is genuine. He reasons that Albert would not have approached a doctor otherwise. When asked what he would do after leaving school without a diploma, Albert explains that he would return to his parents in Milan. There he would apply to a college or an institute with a recommendation from his mathematics teacher. Wheel gives Albert his medical certificate, exempting him from school for 6 months and wishes him luck. The next day, Albert approaches Mr. Coe, his mathematics teacher, for a reference. Mr. Coe gladly gives him a glowing reference letter acknowledging Albert's knowledge and capability to pursue higher studies in mathematics. To Albert's surprise, Mr. Coe indicates that he already knew that Albert would leave. Albert soon finds out the reason behind Mr. Coe's remarks when he unexpectedly called to the head teacher's room. The head teacher asks Albert to leave the school immediately, stating that not only is Albert constantly disrupting classes, he is also seen a nuisance by his teachers. Albert feels embarrassed at being asked to leave instead of leaving on his own terms. However, he leaves the room and the school immediately without stopping to bid farewell to anyone. He had no friends in school anyway. Before Albert leaves Munich, he meets Yuri one last time. Yuri wishes Albert luck and happiness as Albert leaves to pursue what he desires.